Happy Thursday, y'all. So, yesterday I did a video and I had to unlist it. Anonymity reasons. But anyway, I can go into detail about it briefly. I ran across a podcast where Eric Weinstein was getting interviewed, and he had said something in regard to Q classification. He didn't elaborate. He had said it in jest to the details as far as nuclear weapons and the design and, you know, all the physics and all that shit. And it just looks, I was like, do tell. You know, come again? Anyway, I had been curious and had followed the QAnon thing while it was being put out. Now, I couldn't understand anything that was going on in there. However, I kept the hot link, and just recently, well, a few months back, I happened to be like, I wonder if there's anything updated on there. And I'd look in there, and then I'd start reading some of the posts from years back, like 2018 kind of thing. And I was like, this is creepy. Now I'm starting to understand a little bit more. Because now the stuff makes sense. Because everything that had come into fruition had come into fruition after the post was made. So there are some posts that were made 6 months prior to the actual event or occurrence happening. So it's like, all right, so there's stuff that was posted in the 2022 time frame, and I was going through and looking, and unbeknownst to me, I got this like crazy fucking epiphany today. And maybe that was whatever it was that I read kind of like stuck something in my head. Now, being of a military mind and trained with military strategy, let's talk about January 6th. I want you to put yourself in Trump's shoes. I want you to put yourself in the enemy's shoes. Why and what was happening on that day? They were going to debate the results of the election based upon every oversight committee's testimonials, every state that had issues or very erroneous voting issues like unaccountability, people not checking the checker, you know, not checking IDs, shit like that. You know, a lot. There was a lot of discrepancy with that election, whether you want to admit it or not. Now, there's one guy who actually testified. I remember I was watching most of them. And he was a liberal, and he had voted for, I think, that Johnson lady. I think her name was Johnson, something like that. He had voted for her. He had stuck up for all of the people, the Republican side, of who were being discriminated against at the voting booths in some of these blue state areas. Recounts were done. It was in fact found that Trump had won where they had originally said that it was the other party. So there was a lot that needed to be talked about. Okay? Trump knew this. He knew that that's what was going to happen on the congressional floor that day. And he had gone out and spoken to the supporters who had gone out there, you know, voicing their protests against the results. Okay? The protesters didn't rush the White House. It was the paid actors, again, who rushed the White House. They were paid to rush the White House. Why do I say this? Because why would Trump sabotage any chance whatsoever for them to overturn the result? Why would he? They never got to debate. It was never, ever debated entirely. There was never a final result. The entire debate process was sabotaged from what's been being proven. You know, a lot of people are not tracking it and they don't care. They just automatically think Trump is the devil, and what is said from the mainstream media, talking head, Operation Mockingbird fucking committee is what is fact, and that is wrong. Why would Trump incite violence to disrupt a debate that could have very well overturned and kept him in as president? Why would he do that? Pence never even made a decision until after all that violence had occurred. He just said, we ain't even going to bother. This is fucking crazy, basically. But that wasn't Trump's doing. Trump didn't cause that riot. I'm a military-minded strategist, okay? I can think on the concept of double-edged sword. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Why would he incite violence before the debate was even conducted to its final decision? There was no debate. Pence pencil whipped his decision because it was dangerous what was happening, or so they thought. It was all theater. It was theater. And half of those Congress people who said, "Oh, I was scared for my life," yeah, they deserve Academy Awards for fucking acting. Because they're the ones that actually set this shit up. They've been doing an investigation. They're finding out that it was an inside job. And I'm putting my theories on the table. I'm saying that Trump didn't fucking have anything to do with it. Because why would he sabotage his only chances for maintaining his position? Nobody asks that question. Everybody just automatically assumed because they'd been brainwashed by the mainstream media's petty, incriminating, hatred speech against him. There's a lot of people who actually bought into that crap and now are realizing after these two nitwits have been in office for the last 4 years that, yeah, life was a lot fucking better with the Uncle Donnie, you know, mean orange man in office. We also didn't go to war. We also didn't spend $1 billion on foreign aid to people who want to kill us. Gas prices weren't great, but they were way fucking better than they are now. There was no inflation. Food was fucking way cheaper. Way cheaper. I was buying gigantic racks, like gigantic pieces of beef and gigantic Boston butts for under $100 each. One of them, I think the Boston butt was like 60, and it was like 5 fucking pounds. The beef that I got, the giant slab of beef that I got, was only 60 something. And then during COVID, it kind of went up a little. So it was like 80 something for that same size piece of beef. Why did I buy that giant guy? Because I can. I was prepping. I was canning beef. I was canning pork. I was canning chicken. I was canning vegetables. I was prepping. Because I was as nervous about where our country was going also. And I knew that I only had 4 years to do it in. Because if they kicked his ass out of the election or out of the presidency, I didn't know what we were going to be dealing with for the next 4 years of my life. So yes, I am prepared for the 2 kooks that are here. Currently, one of them is trying to fight for presidency, and this is what actually set me off today. Eric Weinstein is brilliant. If you can manage to keep your head and focus and watch him, listen very closely to what he is saying, because he is a political analyst, but he's also a financial analyst. So he has to analyze the politics in order to make the proper steps on the financial realm. Because if you're not paying attention to politics and you're in finance, you're doomed to fail. Period. So he's got his head in the right place. But that interview was amazing. So what I was watching today was Benny Johnson. Jesus, this man is on point. He did the edited version of the 60-minute interview and then the unedited version of the 60-minute interview. And he also did the Fox interview, start to finish, unedited, unclipped. And you know what set me off? The question that really set me off was when Bear had said to her, you had mentioned, turning the page and moving forward, a new era. What do you plan? What are your plans? Whatever. And she dodged it and started being, well, Trump's been campaigning. No, that's not what he don't give a fuck about what your opinion and the facts right now are. Yeah, we knew. Trump has been campaigning for the last 4 years. Here and there, talking to his supporters. Yeah, he had nothing better to do. Keeping positivity in this country. Because he saw it going to shit in a handbasket. That interview was cut short by staff off camera, waving to him being cut it. Fuck it. Because everything that she was answering was so blatantly dodgy. No accountability. None. 3 women lost their lives because she let illegals who had criminal intents and backgrounds into the country on that release thing. And within 3 weeks of them being out on their own on the streets of America, they took 3 lives. And all she had to say was, I'm truly sorry for their loss, but what, bitch? It was your policy that overrode the original policy that Trump had in place that kept everything in check. If anything, I would love somebody to press charges against this woman as an accessory. That's what I would love to see. Your policy killed my kid. Just to put a little bit of a spark in everybody's ass. But yeah, we all seen the sitcom Orange is the New Black. It's kind of fucking ironic, actually.